Get everybody. C'est moi. Again. Jesus. Let me get this back in order again. So let's go. Well, first of all, welcome to another Hellenic Pagan video. This one, I believe, is number 29. Of course, Hellenic Pagan videos are brought to you by, excuse me, the Ancient Greek Fellowship of Mystics. It's recorded at Agape Prophet House in Larissa, Greece. My name is Evan Rigakis, or Evangelos Rigakis if you want, and I am your administrator. Okay, so not really too crazy about this video, well, the topic anyways, because it's such a, I mean, anybody who's a pagan doesn't like to be called pagan, right? So, but what I'm getting lately is that this topic is just, there's a little bit of a twist to it now, because Greeks suddenly, for the past few years, have been coming into the international pagan community. And of course, it's how they've learned English and stuff like that, but they misunderstand certain things, how it's used and why it's used and what is happening. So we get these things like Greeks are not pagans. The ancient Greeks did not call themselves pagans. Okay, and this is brought up by Greeks, like I said, who follow their ancestral traditions. And you know what? They're absolutely correct. Ancient Greeks did not call themselves pagan. But that's because they did not speak Latin. They spoke ancient Greek. Pagans, or pagan, is a Latin word, after all, and the ancient Greeks did not adopt foreign words into their language as they actually do today. So that term was never used by the Greeks or anybody who spoke Greek, because it wasn't a Greek word. Okay. The term the Greeks used to describe followers of the old ways was the term ethniki. In English, that's ethnic. But first, in ancient times, they were not called ethnic Greeks, but pending the city-state, they were called ethnic Athenians or ethnic Spartans or ethnic Thessalians, etc. Secondly, although ethnic did not mean the same as pagan, it was still used in the same manner as pagan, as the Romans used pagan. Greeks may not have called themselves pagan, but you know what? The Romans certainly did. Curiously, pagan means, country folk, or country bumpkin, that type of thing. In modern Greek, this would be the word horiatis. That's what pagan is, horiatis, meaning, villager, country bumpkin, This word in modern Greek society is used to ridicule in the same way the ancient Romans used pagan. Country bumpkin, of low intelligence, yada, yada, yada. Another curious thing as to the reason for calling country folk, in the 4th century AD, the Roman Empire was falling, and they declared and enforced this official religion of the empire. Those who did not convert and still followed the old ways were driven out of the cities and into the countryside, thus country bumpkin. Horiati. Muere horiati. Okay. In this context, we see a pagan tradition as really a folk tradition. The truth is, no one likes to be called pagan. Nobody likes to be called a slave name either. And take the ethnic route, calling themselves Hellenist, Nordic, or etc. As a way of getting around that, instead of country bumpkin, more ethnic. So we're Hellenists, or we're Nordics, or we're Celtics. Ethnic. A tradition is ethnic, but a religion is not. Okay, so you can't really call pagan a religion because it's not. We have been trying to phase out the use of pagan, but like I said, it's going to take a while. They're not too. Unfortunately, the standard of Western spirituality is solely based on Abrahamic, or more precisely, Judeo-Christian theology. So as long as it's that way, we are forced to use the term pagan, that the general populace would understand what we're talking about. Or speaking in their language, so they understand. They understand pagan as being, pre-Christian religion, but they also consider pagan to be satanic. So either you're pagan or satanic. Take your choose. So, by the beginning of the 20th century, many believed paganism was a religion instead of a category. It developed into a pagan tradition composed of 8 seasonal festivals meant to represent European ancestral traditions. So they are collecting these festivals, or this tradition is collected from various cultures and various times as well. In our Hellenic pagan tradition, or actually in the initiatory system of the Hellenic mystery tradition, the Hellenic pagan tradition is found in its rites of chronos, or times, rites of the times. And although they are a series of 8 seasonal festivals, they are not based on any calendar, but rather on the Pythagorean tetractys. Tetraktys. Tetractys. Google it. This changes the rites from being just the celebration of events, which are what festivals are, to a personal odyssey of self-discovery. It's all around know thyself. And Tetraktis is the anatomy of divinity, or your divine, or of Demona. But again, that's going off the rails. So basically, this is how we use the term pagan in English. Now, if we were to translate any book or whatever, instead of pagan, we would put ethnic. So that's the difference. So we call it the Hellenic pagan mystery tradition because of we use 8 seasonal festivals. It's part of our initiation process. We call it pagan because that's how it's become. The 8 seasonal festivals are the pagan tradition. Of course, in the book I just released, those are not the only rites, the seasonal rites. That's not it. I mean, I give you the rite of Thessia, which is for worship or honoring the gods, and several other, including a marriage rite, including the last rite, your funeral. So all of that is included in the book. But those are not so much pagan as they are ancient Greek, that's all. The seasonal festivals is the pagan tradition. So again, this is how we use the term pagan, and we're trying to limit it as much as possible and trying to, phase it out. It's a process. So thank you for watching the whole video. If you liked it, I would appreciate it. And if you haven't already, help us out by subscribing. So, and I'll see you guys on the next one. On the next one then.